it's Lela. I am Lela Monkey, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You can find me at lelamonkey.com. Please see below in the YouTube description for all kinds of information. You can get PDFs for what I'm going to cover today absolutely free by subscribing at my website at lelamonkey.com, and there's a whole lot of other information down there too. So I'll show you. This is the card that we're going to make today. It's a tricky card, and it sure is a tricky card. We're going to run through it twice. First, I'm going to show you how to make this version, then I'm going to show you how to make this version, and when we're all done with that, I've got some samples at the end. So one thing I wanted to let you know is that when you subscribe to my videos, when you subscribe to my emails for my 12 Weeks to a Wow Christmas series, you're going to get an email message that's going to have a link to PDFs. My PDFs are very, very detailed and very, very descriptive. I'm actually going to follow along exactly with the PDF today so that, because this is a tricky card and I want to make sure you get all the right steps. And I've really taken the time to do a lot of photos and to kind of think through the sequence. So I'm super excited to share this card with you today. So let's go ahead and get started with the making of the card. My PDFs always have, by the way, a photo or photos that are descriptive. It's got the colors used, and then it's got the measurements. So if you're going to make one or a number of them, you can go through and cut, just basically following along with the measurement list. I'm not going to read through all those measurements up front. I will read them as I go along, as I go through the steps. And again, you can get the PDF, so you can see everything all spelled out quite nicely. I'll highlight one suggestion before I get started. Practice, practice, practice first before using your favorite cardstock and designer series paper. So let's go ahead and get started following along with the instructions. The first instruction is to cut your card base. And your card base is going to be a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, not designer series paper, 12 by 12 cardstock. And you're going to cut it to 5 1/4. So 12 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to score every 4 inches. And ultimately, this is going to be the card base. But we're going to get that cut, and then we're going to set it aside. We're also going to cut a card front for it. And that's 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. That fits right on the front. You can see nicely, this fits perfectly inside any kind of, this is a translucent envelope, but it also just fits in a regular basic white envelope as well, and very vanilla. So now we're gonna cut 2 cardstock pieces, and I'm gonna lay this out carefully to show you what I'm talking about. I refer to an A and a B in my PDF, and I want to make sure you've got visibility to what that means. So, so why do I call it A and B? Because I tell you to assemble the 2 inserts, and first you do part A and then you do part B. And then as I go on below, I call it A and I call it B. And the reason I've got A here and B here is because when you put it, when you assemble the actual card, you're going to use A first on the bottom, then you're going to use B second on the top. So hopefully the sequence and the visual is all kind of in order, but it may confuse you at first that this is A and this is B, but I specify it. So you are cutting a piece of cardstock. This is our blueberry bushel, and it's scrumptious. You're going to cut your piece of cardstock at 6 3/4 by 3 3/4, and you're going to score it at 3 inches. So it's got kind of like a fold over and then a little like an extra section right there. So you're going to cut 2 of those. You can see that those are both 6 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I've cut 2 of those. I did assemble one of them ahead of time, so all right, so then you're going to cut some designer series paper that matches. So when I say cut cardstock, cut designer series paper 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. So 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. you're gonna need 2 of those because you've got one on the left side and one on the right side. Then it's gonna say cut identical designer series paper pieces 1/2 inch by 3.5 inch. So I've basically got identical, coordinating identical, identical, coordinating identical. So you've got that 1/2 inch by 3.5 inch. And then this is also gonna be 2 3/4 by 3.5. And then you're gonna have a basic white that you're gonna put on the other side. That's 2 3/4. Let me say it right, 2 3/4 by 3.5. So it's basically 1/4 inch in of the fold. And then you need a little piece of ribbon. And there we go. So now it says assemble to the 2 inserts. A is shown at the bottom in the photo below. A is shown at the bottom in the photo below. So it's gonna say something like, open your layer with the fold closest to the left side. So what that means is there's like a shorter piece and a longer piece. This one has the shorter piece with the fold on the left side. This one has the shorter piece with the fold on the right side. So it's just as simple as that. The first thing we're gonna do is adhere the ribbon, and you do want to follow along with these instructions. I can tell you I've made every mistake. I've put the designer series paper down before remembering to put the ribbon in, and then I've had to either pull up the designer series paper or glue another piece over it. So I've done that. I've done it in reverse where I have the designer series paper, I have the ribbon on the wrong side. So I've done that problem. I've also done it where if the direction matters for the designer series paper, I've also done it upside down. So I have done it, like if it could be done wrong, I've done it wrong. And that's why I've been so very specific in my instructions. So that's what you want to do. You want to have a little pull tab right there, super cute. And you want to have the Scotch tape down enough and over enough so that when I put my lining layer on it, you don't see it, down enough and over enough. So of course you're not going to go over the fold. And then it's going to fit so nice, right? When I go to put my designer series paper on it, it's just going to go just perfect. So I think it tells you a specific sequence to adhere all these guys, but it doesn't matter, just so long as you get the 2 identical on the 2 ends and the coordinating in the middle, and just so long as you've got your ribbon facing the right way and you've got your designer series paper, if you care about the directionality, that you've got it upright. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And now I like glue. Those of you that know me know that I like glue. You can certainly use your tape runner for this part. There's gonna be a part where I'm really gonna recommend a stronger adhesive. And honestly, I don't even think tear and tape is sufficient. I use a combination of tear and tape and glue it's when I'm gluing the sections of the card base together. So I'll show you that a little bit later. But at this point, it's perfectly fine to have your, to just use a tape runner. Okay, so now I'm gonna look and see. So if I follow along with that photo, I've got the fold on the left side, I've got the ribbon up there, that's perfect. And if I follow along with that photo, folds on the right side, perfect. All right, then it says turn it over and put your basic white. So don't mix them up, keep A with A and B with E, turn them over and put the basic white. And where are we gonna put the basic white? Are we gonna put it on this long side? No, we're gonna put it on the shorter fold side. It fits exactly. So, so that's it, it's as simple as that. Now, if you wanted to stamp on this ahead of time, go ahead and do that. If you wanna make a little pocket for a gift card, you can certainly write your message later. But if you wanted to do any further embellishment or put photos, you could do that now, or you could do that. I guess I recommend putting photos later, but if you're gonna do any stamping, maybe do the stamping before you adhere it. So, all right, so now we've got A and we've got B. Those are completely ready. I'm actually gonna put my label on it so I don't lose them. And I'm gonna put them off to the side because we're done. I call these inserts as we go along. So we've assembled our 2 inserts. I'm gonna put those off to the side. Now I'm gonna take a look at the next instruction. Okay, it says take a moment to lay out the pieces, begin to understand how the mechanism works. Take the base and lay it out as shown. So we've got a valley there and a hill there, valley there, hill there. Lay the insert from 10A above as shown. So I'm gonna start from this bottom panel. I'm taking A and I'm laying it as shown. So, so this is A. It's laying as shown. I've got my valley and my hill, valley, hill, A laying as shown, ribbon on the top, ribbon on the top. And the pattern, if I was looking at it now, would be right side up. If I had words here, they would be right side up. These lights don't matter, they go any which way. But if I was looking at it, the words would be right side up going that way. And then it says, hold the center spot with your finger and with your other hand, pivot the insert counterclockwise until it's moved upside down. I just want you to know how the mechanism's gonna work. That's how it's gonna work. It's gonna go like that. So there's a few things to note about it. We're gonna put a hole and we're gonna put a brad. If you don't put the hole exactly in the middle of this, and if you don't put the hole exactly in the middle of this, then it's not gonna close. And if you put it too far over or too far that way, it's all, this mechanism isn't gonna work as well. So we're gonna hole punch, but I wanna tell you, you want your alignment exactly right. We're gonna put a hole exactly in the middle of this little strip. We're gonna go, well, exactly in the middle of edge to edge. And then we're gonna go exactly in the middle of this 1/2 inch right there. And then once we have that, we're gonna come over here, we're gonna line this up. We're gonna make sure that we're not above the fold. We're not gonna make sure we're not outside. We're gonna make sure we're not too close to the edge nor too far from the edge and not outside of it. And then also we could come over here and look. We wanna make sure we've got a lot of room over here. The mechanism is gonna swing back and forth through here. So we can see it one more time here. I'm asking you to place it here just so you see what the piece is, and then hold it and pivot it so that you see how it works. That's it. This is the bottom one. This is A. And now you have a sense of that. So now that you understand that, now we're gonna make a mark on here and we're gonna do a hole punch. So I'm gonna take this away for a moment and I'm gonna get this right here and I'm gonna get a pen and I'm gonna get my ruler, and it says make a pen mark on the first insert exactly at the halfway point in both directions. That equals 1 7/8. So I'm gonna take my ruler and I'm gonna line it up exactly at the edge. So not that you need to know, but it's 3 3/4, so half of 3 3/4 is 1 7/8. So again, I'm halfway between, that's a 1/2 inch. I'm gonna go exactly at 1 7/8 and put just a pen mark. Now, if I'm not exactly halfway, I just need to know when I do my hole punch to come down a little bit. So I've got my, what's this guy? I forgot. Cropper. I forgot what it is, but anyway, it's my hole punch. I love this guy. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm not gonna go quite as far. I'm gonna get to the center of it and then I'm gonna pull back a little bit and do my hole punch. And that's nice and in the middle. That's perfect. So let me just look one more time, because you know what? If it's not exactly in the middle, I promise you, you will have issues. All right, so now that's done. Now I'm gonna come over here. And by the way, nobody's gonna see that pen mark. That pen mark's gonna be covered up. So I'm gonna come in about, I mean, 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch. I'm gonna make sure I'm not over. I'm gonna make sure I'm not too far. I'm gonna make sure I'm not too far. I'm gonna make sure this can close nicely. And now I'm gonna use the hole mark that I just made And I'm gonna make another hole. And that looks good. I'm gonna come in and punch exactly that hole. Perfect. I was off a little bit just because my eyesight's not perfect. I think it'll be okay. I can show you some tips to get around it in the event we need to get around it. So now I'm going to take my brads. Here's another mistake I made. Don't use the small brads, use the big brads. It doesn't matter what color, you can't see it. So, but do not use the small brad. It'll go right through, it'll fall apart. So I promise you, I've made all the errors. That's one of them, don't do it. Okay, we're gonna put that right there because we're gonna need another one. Again, circle, square, doesn't matter, white, black, doesn't matter. We're gonna put our brad through, we're gonna seal it up on the back. And now, just for funsies, we're gonna pull our mechanism again. What are some things we're looking for? Is my ribbon at the bottom because that's where the pull tab's gonna be. Am I going beyond the bottom or the top? No, you can see somehow I didn't make it exactly in the middle. So, but thank goodness I'm still within the boundaries. And the other thing we need to test is, so we're gonna close this, we're gonna hold it, we're gonna pull it. Will I be able to open the door? Because I've also had it where it's so far in that this guy then you can't open the door. So it really is a funny little bunny, but he looks just precariously perfectly positioned. What could you do if you made a mistake on the hole? I mean, if it's such an egregious mistake and the hole needs to go somewhere else, you just punch a different one and they're not connected and they're fine. If they're so close to each other, I have done it where I've punched right next to it and it just had a bunch of slip, but it worked. I've also done it where I've covered it up with a strip of designer series paper or cardstock and done a hole again and it's been fine. But I promise you, you want to make sure that the whole thing works before you go any further. I will show you on this guy, sadly, I didn't do that. And so this piece, I just tore it out for demonstration purposes, but like, it was too, like when I did it, let me try to show you, like, let me show you what a mistake would be. Let's say it was too far up this way, right? Like this. Then when you go to open it, it's gonna like open like that, right? So you really want it exactly in the middle. All right, anyway, enough on that. So now we've got that ready and that's perfect. Now let's see what the next instruction is. It gets a little tricky from here. There's a reason it's called a tricky card. And by the way, well, I'll tell you that story in a minute why it's called a tricky card. So we've done it. We've tested it and then we've put our pen mark exactly in the middle and then we've put our pen mark right there and we put our brad and we've got our guy. Now we're going to turn the base over. So watch me, we're turning the base over. What do we have? We have a brad on the right now. We've got a mountain and then we've got a valley because we're gonna do something on the other side here. Now we're gonna, so I'm done with A. I'm gonna get rid of my A note. I'm just gonna throw it away. Well, I'm gonna save it because I'm gonna repeat this. All right, now I've got my B. This is my B. So I'm gonna make an insert on the second. I'm gonna make a mark on the second insert. And I've already done this guy. So basically, I'll just show you. I went halfway in the middle. I got to 1 7/8. I put my pen mark, I took it out, I did a hole punch. So now I've got my hole in section insert B. So I've done all that. Take the insert and you're going to put it like this. And I can show you. You're gonna put a pen mark right there. So you can see it. The brad's down below. That's the mountain fold. That's a valley fold. This is B. And I'm placing it so that the hole is right there. And my brad is going to go right there. So one brad like under and then one brad on the flip side over. So follow along with this exactly. This is one you don't want to be like, oh, I've got that. Trust me. You don't want to be like, oh, I've got this, because I've even done it. And I can't tell you how many mistakes I've made putting the ribbon in the wrong place, etc. So I'm on the other side. I'm in the middle. I'm going to draw my circle. I'm going to come in and make my hole punch. I just don't see very well, so I'm going to trust that that's okay. Darn it. It's a little too close. Let's see how it does. I just don't see well. That's my problem. So, just is. Okay. So now you are going to take another brad. Again, you just want large. Doesn't matter white or black. Doesn't matter circle or square. You want a large brad. You're going to come in over here. It looks like it might still be okay. Here's what I'm looking for as I'm testing it out. I'm looking to make sure a few things. Well, okay, let me do this and let me do this. I'm looking at a few things when I do this. I want to make sure, and then ultimately we'll test it too. Mrs. Wilson was my math teacher. She would be proud that I test everything. So it's a little close to the edge, but it's not too far over that you're going to see it. It fits between the upper and the lower, so that feels good. There's plenty of room over on the other side, so that feels good. So let's close it up, and the ribbon is going this direction, which we want. So let's close it up and see what we're going to get now. We're turning it back over to have the original A in the bottom left. And then this guy is in kind of the upper right. So we're going to hold it like that, and let's just test it out and see if both directions will go. That direction's going to go. Great. That direction's going to go. Perfect. Okay, great. We have done the hard part. Now we just need to assemble, seal the card. So the first thing we want to do is to get these two pieces adhered together. And I'm going to use my tear and tape here. So I'm going to do it on this side so that I know that I haven't gone too far. So I'm going to go on this side. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to do tear and tape first, and then I'm following it up with glue because I really, really, really want a very good seal. I'm going to do this right now. Now, while I'm gluing, I'll tell you where I got this idea from. I did not invent this mechanism. However, I do get a lot of technical credit because I watched a video by a gal named Srushti Patil. And you know what? I credit her in the PDF. And so you can go to her YouTube video if you want. She's got great videos. This was a 3-minute video. I might be a little bit exaggerating, but not really. And it was in metric. So when I was sick, I did have enough energy to just kind of lay there and watch videos and take notes. So I watched this video again and again and again, and I converted the metrics, the centimeters to inches, and got up and played with it. So, and then of course she's not Stampin' Up, so I converted it to Stampin' Up. So here's a few things to note about this guy. I'm going to move my B note now. I'm making sure that this has plenty of room to spin around. I don't want it hampered in any way. I'm making sure that the adhesive is really only at this 1/2 inch. I don't want this getting hampered in any way. I'm making sure I've got a really, really solid bond. So I've done tear and tape and glue. With all of that said, now I'm going to take and put these two layers together. And I'm going to give a really, really, really good burnish. So now I've done a good burnish. And I show it right here. Okay, I just wrote down Srushti's name on here so that I remember to give her credit, which I'm pretty sure I did. But here, that was that middle layer. There's the brad, There's the tear and tape with the glue, the tear and tape with the glue, right before the fold, and then you fold it over. So that's good. Now you're left with this. I'm going to turn this around like this to match the photo. So now you're left with this. This is basically on the bottom now, and this is up here. I've turned it around. So for orientation, when you're looking at it, now I'm going to glue this, and there is no brad to watch out for over here. So I'm just going to put glue, and I can just use glue over here. Again, I want a really, really, really solid adhesive. So I'm going to come over here and just give a good, same thing. I'm looking for, I want this to have incredible movement without any hampering. I only want about 1/2 inch right there. I want it so that it's going to be a really, really good seal. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that over and give it a very good burnish. And you guys, we have assembled our tricky card. So ta-da and ta-da. Now let me show you how to decorate the front. I mean, that's it. We've done it, right? So I'm going to go through it again on the other design, and let me talk about that for a moment. So this is a 12 weeks of Christmas series. I'm so excited and I'm so proud. It was honestly one thing that kind of got me through being so sick. I was sick for about a month, COVID. Anyway, it's fine. I'm over it. But I really was able to kind of just have some fun decorating, planning and decorating, and kind of putting a good approach together for 12 weeks to Christmas. And then what occurred to me was I could offer a kit, and I could have classes centered around this. So this year, that's what I'm doing. So first and foremost, make no mistake, this class is for fun and for free. This is 12 videos. They are wow videos. It does get a little lighter as we get closer to Christmas because, of course, you don't have time to make this a week before Christmas. Okay, what am I doing? I'm decorating the front. So I took a length of ribbon and I'm going to just tie a bow. It's kind of a simple front. You could certainly make it more elaborate. I have more examples to show you as well, but I'm just basically tying a bow before I adhere my designer series paper. So back to the kits. So I decided I was going to offer 2 flavors. I was going to offer kind of a whimsical. So this is the whimsical, and I'm going to offer kind of a traditional. So every example that you see, every demonstration that you see every month will have, and maybe for some of the simpler ones I won't, but many of the demonstrations will, and certainly the samples, will show both the whimsy and the traditional. And the whimsy that I'm using Merry Bold and Bright designer series paper. It's in the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog, and it is so much fun. Oh my gosh, I can't take how fun it is. It's awesome. All right, so I've got my ribbon ready. I want to make sure that up is up. So it is. So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere my ribbon. So, and what I decided I would do, since I've got 2 different, completely different looks, right? There's traditional Saint Nick, and then there's Merry Bold and Bright. What I decided I would do is I would use the same stamp set and dies across both of them, so that honestly, you could follow along at home, not get the kit, not take the class. You could use different product completely, and I think that this bundle would work with anything. So I'll talk about that in a minute. It's the Sending Cheer bundle, and oh my goodness, it works perfectly with both. So you're going to see Merry Bold and Bright. That's this guy. You're also going to see traditional Saint Nick, and it's all going to work with the Sending Cheer stamp set and die. So this is Sending Cheer. Today we're going to use this little envelope, and so we're going to use the die, which is the Holly and Ivy. We've got a little tag right there. So this is a bundle. These are dies from the bundle, and this is stamps from the bundle. And I will always show examples with those, and then I'll step it up a bit and show different examples as well. So we've got just the final decorations to do, and oh my gosh, I was so excited. I saw this envelope stamp I'm putting my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath so that I can do some stamping with photopolymer. Oh yeah, it's got these little dies too, which are going to be the Open Me. So let's go ahead and get to the stamping. So the colors I'm using, Blueberry Bushel, Poppy Parade, Shaded Spruce, and Lemon Lime Twist. So for the envelope, I love this envelope. It was so fun. And then I'm like, what do I do with it? But what did I do? I went to the catalog and I took a look at the catalog example and I loved it. So I've been pretty much copying the catalog example ever since. So I've got my Lemon Lime Twist. I've got this tag. Let me scooch up a bit. I'm getting farther and farther away. I've got my Lemon Lime Twist. I've got my tag. I'm on my Stampin' Pierce mat. I'm going to stamp my envelope, and it looks so real that my sister thought that it was an envelope. She said, wait, that's a tag die? Oh my gosh. So, and she had an idea. If you don't have these stamps, you could make your own envelope. How cute would that be to put that on the front? Really, you can decorate any kind of anything on the front. So, all right, so we've got that envelope. And now we're going to do a couple other things. We're going to do... We want to do For You, and we want to do Open Me. So the For You, I think, will look cute in the Poppy Parade, just as a nice contrast to the Lemon Lime Twist, and it matches the Poppy Parade cardstock. So if you get the kit, I have a 12 weeks kit. I think I did that upside down. So I'm going to turn it over. There is a right and a wrong side to dies, but we're going to just pretend that there isn't today. So I want the whole on that side. So I do offer kits. Let's say you wanted the whole 12-week kit. You would get every project. And I cut the hard parts for you. So you do the designer series paper, but I would cut the card stock. And have that all ready for you. And then you would get, actually I'm going to do an intro video about it, so I won't spend too much time talking about that. But what I'm super excited about is for all 12 weeks, you're going to see examples from Marian Bright, and you're also going to see examples from the traditional Saint Nick. And oh my gosh, I have had so much fun. So the sequence, by the way, of the 12 weeks is going to be, it's going to be in runs of 4. So the first 4 are going to be a card, a bag, a box, and something fun. So this is your card right now. And then next week we're going to do a bag. And then after that we're going to do a box. And then after that we're going to do something fun. The something fun that we're doing this through the first series, September 30th through 4 weeks from then, we're going to do a tag box, so a box that holds tags, and then the something fun is tags themselves, actually. All right, so, but I've got a lot of videos below describing the kit, describing the classes, describing the products used, describing how you can get the PDFs for free, describing the supplies, describing the series. So you can see all that below. And I have an introduction video. So here's our front. And now we want to take this guy and put the front on it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I did that with glue. So I'm not going to do dimensionals at this point. I just did that with glue. It's got quite a bit of dimension already. And then I put the For You on it with the little hole on the right. I thought was perfect. And then I put my little holly and berries together. Like that. And I put that on the hole. Like that. So cute. I'm going to take a little, do a gentle press. I know I had too much glue under there, so I'm just going to do a gentle press. So that's that guy, and then I've got these 2 little guys, and I've got some gems, which the Festive Pearls I think that this would look cute with photos inside of it, right? So at this point you could go in and you could add some photos. Maybe Santa on baby's lap, baby's first Christmas. I think that it could be, I don't know if you go to a fun Christmas shop and just a picture of you shopping for fun Christmas stuff, or I don't know, Christmas memories. All right, so that's that guy. I kind of put those 3 little holly berries there. If you can see it, there's a little bit of glue showing, but it dries clear, so that's fine. And then for the twine, I'm using a little bit of twine a few places. So, and I've been using up the in color twine. I think the sweet sorbet goes so sweetly, and now this is the, what's it called? I want to call it tempting turquoise, and I know it's not that. What's the Tahitian tide? So it's not an exact match, but it sure is bright and happy. So I've got a bunch of that twine, so I've been using that. You can use white, you can use any twine that you have, real red, just whatever. Leftover from fan club, like just whatever you have. So that's that guy. And then we also want to do a little bit of twine above and below. Now, this is the kind of card that you want to give in person, because I've given it to 2 people now. One who, well, I'll be honest, it's my husband. He's my test case. It does not matter what the fun fold is. I give it to him, I watch him open it, and then I realize how I need to help people help instruct. Like sometimes I'll put a little insert in it about like how you open it or not. So so for sure, like I watched him open it and it was like, what is happening here? But then I gave it to someone who is pretty experienced opening fun folds, and even she was like, oh, I'm not exactly sure the orientation. So you want to know this well enough yourself that you're able to open and close it, and then you want to be with them and you want to be able to help them do it, because there's even closing it, like you think you've got it but you don't. So this is definitely an in-person interactive kind of thing, and who wouldn't want to be there to watch somebody open it anyway, right? Like after all this work and all this love goes into it and all this fun, you kind of want to be there anyway. So let me describe. I realize I did that pretty quickly. So I've got a long enough piece of twine that I'm able to tie a bow. I'm looping it through the ribbon, and then I loop it through this little open knee, and then I'm going to tie a knot, just tying 1 knot so that it's nice and secure, and I'm tying it really taut. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to do my little bunny ears, and I may not have left enough room on the one side, so fingers crossed that I got it. If not, I won't spend your time watching me fix that, but fingers crossed. Let's hope we've got it. So no, you know what, that's okay. And you know what, I'm just gonna double knot it for this one. That's okay too. It doesn't have to have a bow everywhere. So we'll just do that. Super fun. And here's your cute card. I'm gonna make it again a little bit more quickly with the other pattern, but let me show you some other examples with this pattern first. So this is the Merry Bold and Bright using Sending Cheer. Here's another Merry Bold and Bright using Sending Cheer. Different stamps. You stamp out the present, and then you die cut. Oh, the little red thing fell off. Let me get a little red one on there. So you stamp out the gift, and then you die cut like the bow and the gift wrap, and then you can add a few little decorations to it, and then you've got a fun little card there. This is using a pattern that I love so much. These are the light bulbs. I love them, the Christmas tree bulbs. And then you've got your open me, and here's the fa la 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 la. So you see how this is the bottom, this was A, this was upright. So this was the bottom, this was A, this was upright. And then this is the top, this is B, this is upright. Let's go look at that and just make sure. I'm having a moment of doubt right now. So back to B. Yeah, B is here. Here's that little guy, that little guy, that little guy with the ribbon on the bottom. So, yep, perfect. So definitely, if you're gonna do fa la 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 la, when you're facing this way, you want it, your fa la la reading that way for sure. Okay, so that's that guy, super cute. And then I was playing with it so much, I ended up loving it so much. I actually bought the suite that goes with Merry Bold and Bright. So this is just a embossing folder that's awesome. And then this is the Merry Bold and Bright stamps and dies. I just thought it was so cute. So there we go. And here I've done fa la 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 as an alternate, right? So so anyway, that's a little stepped up version. But you will always get demonstrations from me using the sending chair. So that was that guy. I'm actually, because this is so complicated, I'm gonna run through it again with the other pattern. And let's see, what time are we at? We're at 40 minutes. I think it's fine. I'm gonna run through it with the second pattern, maybe less chatty and maybe not decorating the front. So we'll see. Okay. So, and I didn't do any pre-work ahead of time over here. So let's get our A and our B and let's get all lined up. So this, I want to show this though, because some people who got the kit are going to get different ingredients. And so you're going to want to know what patterns and what things to look out for when you do it. So you're going to get Old Olive, and same thing. It's 12 inches by 5 1/4. You're going to score at 4 inches and 8 inches. And you're going to start with the mountain at the top and the valley on the bottom, and you're going to put that to the side. You've got a 5 by 3 3/4 on the front for the decoration. You've got your checked ribbon. So that's that. Now let's get our A and our B set up. So I've got this guy, and I've got this guy, and I've got my 2 ribbons. And I've got my front. I'm going to do A on the bottom, B on top. I'm going to keep all my little tags off to the side. I'm going to put you up here, you up here, and you up here. Now, this is, I love this paper. This paper is like the Traditions of St. Nick. It's limited edition. So if for some reason it's gone, then it's gone. However, the stamps are awesome, and you could certainly take just some traditional red and green and go with it as well. But I have ordered extra, and I do have some for kits. So let me know if you if you're getting into like December and you're watching this and you can't get it. So all right. So now I'm following along with my this one, the fold goes on the right. This one, the fold goes on the left. So I'm going to follow along with that. And the ribbon goes here, and the ribbon goes here, and the white goes on the other side, and the white goes on the other side, and that's the fold. So we've got that guy. And this is, oh, you're going to see it. This guy's upright. This mailbox is upright. So we're going to go like this. You want to have your mailbox upright. So the first thing you're going to do, what's the first thing we're going to do? We're going to put our ribbon in. So we're going to put our ribbon right here, and we're going to be careful with, actually, I think I'm not going to hurry through this because I think that some people are buying this kit and they may want to watch this version instead of the Merry Bold and Bright version. So, and sometimes repetition is great too. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the ribbon and I'm adhering it with Scotch tape. That feels a little too close to me. So I don't want it so that it's going to show outside of the designer series paper when I put the designer series paper down. So I'm going to snip a little bit of it off because I really want it covered. I want it so that you can't see it at all, but that it's really helpfully securing the ribbon, because that's going to be a pull tab and it's going to get a lot of action. All right, so we've got our ribbons, and now we've got all this lined up. So let's go ahead and get these adhered. This was the 6 3/4 by 3 3/4, scored at 3. And then what I said was A goes on the bottom and B goes on the top, because A is going to be the first one that we put into the card base itself. And I say that the fold is on the left for A. That means the 3-inch side is closer to the left and the longer side is closer to the right. We're going to adhere it upright like that. When I talk about the paper being coordinating or identical, I like it so that this paper and this paper are identical and that a coordinating piece goes in the middle. I've also, by the way, given some thought and attention to what it looks like when the card is closed and what it looks like when the card is open and the panels that are peeking out. So for this guy, let me show you this guy. So I've got the envelope in red, lots of green everywhere else. When you open it, red comes out, and that really kind of announces itself nicely, right? And here's an example. That's A, so perfectly, that's A, right? Okay, that's that guy. We're gonna put the white on the other side. And now you could do, so if you've got the kit, you could do exactly these papers, or the reason that you're getting the full pack if you've got the kit is because you may decide to do, like I chose one pattern for the large bag that we're going to do. That was kind of, we're going to do a large bag eventually. And that one, like it took 2 pieces of paper. So I dedicated the paper to that pattern. And then I kind of used whatever other patterns I had for different things as I went along. I actually really like the envelope designer series paper with this one because I'm using the envelope stamp on the front, and it's just kind of a consistent theme of, like, you know, a mailing envelope. So, all right, so that we're working on B right now, and that fold is on the right, and the up and down is facing that way, and the ribbon is on the bottom. And we've gone ahead and adhered all of our pieces, and we made sure that up and down is up and down. Perfect. And I put my white on the smaller side, the 3-inch side. I'm gonna put my little B sticker on. Maybe I should put that in the instructions. You know what? I think I will put that in the instructions. Yellow sticky. All right. So I'm gonna put my B off to the side, and there that goes. Now I come over here and it says, take a moment to lay out the pieces. We're laying out the pieces. This is a different color, but I've got my valley, I've got my mountain, and I'm taking my A piece and I'm doing the same thing. I'm opening it up right here and looking at it, and I like it quite nice, and I'm holding it here and I'm pivoting it all the, see, here's a great example. If you don't have the hole centered right, like you think you're fine, but then when you go to turn it around, like you can't turn it around. So you do, you have to have it exactly centered right. So anyway, we're pivoting and we like it and it's working well. So now we come and we do our 1 7/8 exactly in the middle. And that's, I've done it enough times that I finally looked, because I kept like going in quarter inch, but I've done it enough times that I would go in quarter inch, and then I always ended up at 1 7/8. So I finally wrote down that that was the size. So I'm gonna put my little pen mark by 1 7/8. That happens to be exactly in the middle, and I love that. I just wish I saw better, but I don't. There's just too many shadows going on here. So let's see if I can get that. I might be right. Okay, that's good. All right, get right under the light, Lela. Okay, so that's that guy. Now when we come over here, we're gonna make sure that we're not too far. We basically have a nice 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I'm gonna draw a little pen mark. come in and punch that. This is the part that I don't see very well. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So I didn't do it right. Here's what I'm going to do. I know that much is going to make a difference. So I'm going next to it a little bit. Now it's stuck. I have never had it stick before. Okay. I am not redoing this video. I'm not. It's stuck. Oh my goodness. Come on, little guy. Oh my gosh, I have never had that happen. I have never. Oh my gosh. I pulled it. That's how it made the difference. I've never had that happen with that little crocodile. All right. So let's try it. This could be mangled, and if it's too mangled, then I'm going to put a strip of designer series paper. But let's see. Let's put it in and kind of hope for the best. So I put another hole there. I've actually done it where I've done another hole, and it's been okay, actually. So let's see what we think. First of all, it's not too far out, so that's okay. We've got our tab. That's okay. We can turn it around. That's okay. It opens. That's okay. We can turn it around. That's okay. And it doesn't look like it's going to have too much wear and tear. Now, that's one thing I didn't tell you on the back of it. I've not been decorating the back. I think I only did on one of them. But you would just get your brad kind of, you know, up and down that way and put another piece of designer series paper there. I have not been taking time to do that, but you certainly could. All right, so thank goodness we salvaged it. Again, if we couldn't, I would have put a piece of cardstock or a strip of designer series paper there and covered it, but I didn't need to do that. So, so now we're gonna do what it says. We're gonna turn it over. So we turn this whole thing over now that we're done with that. And now we're going to do this side. So now we're going to do the B side, and we line this guy up right here. So the B side is going to go like that. And did I do that right? I'm going a little bit fast. Quite honestly, my husband came in and brought me this scrumptious looking breakfast, but I'm not going to eat it. All right, so we're going to get this at 1 7/8 too. And then we're going to make sure we follow the picture. So, oh my gosh, look what he just brought me. I can't stand it. He came in, he tiptoed in. I'm like, I have a big sign outside said recording, but he didn't care. He came in and brought me scrumptiousness. All right, I'm going to put a mark at 1 7/8. I'm pretty lucky, I will tell you that. I'm pretty grateful. Oh, I'm so glad. Bob is feeling better. All right, I'm going to get my crocodile. You know what? My crocodile is malfunctioning, so I'm not going to use that. I will tell you what I'm going to do for Plan B. For Plan B, and I'm working on my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath. I never lifted it out. I'm actually just going to put a hole punch through with that. So that's my Plan B. And I did it in my Stampin' Pierce mat. I'm pretty sure it'll heal. So, so now I'm back over here. I've turned this over. I've already done A. I've turned it over. So I'm going to put this here for B. And I'm going to do the same thing. I want to make sure I'm about 1/4 inch all the way around. And I'm going to go through with my pen. And I mean, this certainly is a lot more precise to place the hole through, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so now I put a hole there. I'm going to get my brad. I'm going to use a large brad because we know using a small brad, it would fall right through. I could show you, but I've already showed you enough mistakes. All right, I'm going to go through there. I'm going to go through there. And then I'm going to seal my brad. And then I'm going to come over. So now I'm going to test my unit, and let's see. So I've got my bottom piece. Oh, no, wait. Oh, I'm upside down. All right, I'm going to test my unit. All right, I've got my bottom piece and it opens right side. I've got my top piece and it opens right side, and they both work well. Yay! All right, so the next steps are we wrap our ribbon. Oh, did we glue? No, we gotta glue everything. Okay, so then the same thing. We are going to take our tear and tape. Once we've tested, and retested, we're gonna take our tear and tape and adhere this. And then we're going to put a little bit of glue on it too. You want a really, really, really good adhesive. And then we're going to burnish those two. So if you can believe it, I'm making these for a swap. Is that crazy? But I really, really, I'll be honest with you, I want to get more people coming to my channel. I want to get... I want to grow my little world, you guys, and I really think that I do bring some unique perspective to the stamping industry. I really like wow cards, and I really like complexity, and I'm really willing to like take the time to learn and then spell it out for you step by step. So I'm doing it for a swap, and then I'm going to share my information with them, and I hope that they join. Okay, so join my YouTube and my email list, and maybe they'll buy a kit or not, or maybe not. You know what? But maybe they'll just make it. They'll have it in their hand and they'll love it and they'll make it like that. I would love to see it if more and more people made this. So I've glued that side. Now I'm gonna turn it over and around, and I'm gonna glue this side. I'll show you the swap. It's completely different than what I'm doing here. I've got some samples I'll show you in the end. So this side, the instructions say, okay, turn it over, and then you're gonna glue this side. So that's what we're doing right now. We're gluing this side, and we're gonna give that a good burnish. Plus, I really wanted good experience with making it. So, and I love it. You know what? I love making it. I love making it. I love giving good cards. I love delighting people. I love surprising people. Okay, that's that guy. Now we are going to decorate the front, and the front is easy peasy. So I'm just gonna put, it looks like that is, I didn't cut a long enough string. So I'm gonna change the ribbon dimension in the thing too, because you definitely want a long enough piece. So when I don't have enough length, I kind of do a plan B. I tape some ribbon around it, and then I tie a little bow. And somebody just told me, I was talking to someone and we were saying like, what? Oh, she said, oh, so-and-so's tell is blah, blah, blah. I said, oh my gosh, your tell is blah, blah, blah. I said, what's my tell? And she said, your cute little bows. And so that made me smile, because I do love my bows. Making sure that I'm right side up. I've got my nice little band right there. So, and you know what the secret to my bows is? The secret to my bows is this cute little bow maker. I've just restocked them. So I have them here available. If you need one, I can get you one. Let's see, that feels like a good amount. So now, out of that same length of ribbon, even though I couldn't wrap it all the way around and get a bow, out of that same length of ribbon, I can get the same effect. So I'm gonna use a couple mini glue dots to get this on there. Yeah, it's a mini bow maker. I mean, I've seen people use a fork. I've seen people, there's all different ones out there. This one is very, very sturdy. I've used it for years and I love it. So I'm using my little mini glue dots. I'm gonna put my little bow right there. I'm gonna snip the edges, and then we'll finish it up with, so in this case, I'm using twine. I'm using a crumb cake twine or linen, and I've got all my same ingredients. I've got my 2 tags. I've got my 2 circle tags, my large tag, my little tag that I will face the right way, my shaded spruce, little holly, and I'll get these together. So if you got the kit, you would get a bunch of all of these, and you can use them on whatever you want. If you didn't want to use it on this pattern, you wouldn't have to use it on this pattern. If you wanted to, you could. So I've got the same stamps. I'm going to clean them because I haven't done that yet. And I've got the same stamps, but then I'll also show you a stepped up version with the traditional Santa. So I'm going to do this in Real Red and Mossy Meadow because these colors are a little bit different. I'll clean this off. I've already got my Stampin' pad underneath because I didn't move it. So we'll go like that. Okay, that's my envelope. And then while this is out, I think I'll do an Open Me in red, Real Red. Cherry Cobbler also goes with this. And then I think I'll do a For You in Real Red. I love Santa Claus, so doesn't matter if it's whimsical Santa, traditional Santa, and this traditional Santa, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. So we're gonna do one more Open Me in Mossy Meadow. You know, I like these little touches of, I've got my Open Me's in different colors. So one's in one color, one's in another color. And I just like, you know, fun little touches like that. So I've got that. And we'll go ahead and get these all ready to go. So this is, I actually think this is linen thread. I meant to grab the crumb cake twine, but either one would be fine. So this is how I do this tag. I put it through the front with a little loop. Make sure that it's straight. I put the two little tails through, and then I've just got a nice little hanging twine like that. I'm gonna glue my letter on the front, right there. And I'm just gluing, I'm not dimensionaling. Oh, you know what? It's not perfect in the red, but it's fine. So I'm gonna put the For You. And then I could put that on a little dimensional. Let's do that. Let's just get a little baby dimensional for this guy. And then I think that kind of, I won't take the time to tie the Open Me's, but you would just very simply tie the Open Me's on the little pull tabs. And I showed you how I did that. Oh, come on, little dimensional. Alrighty. I like to just cover up the little hole right there. And then I put like 3 little gems right there. So let's take a look at a finished one. So, I mean, this guy's perfect. Perfect. And then here's one where I did it, the letters in a little different color. I added the little gems, and then I just tied those on with a little, just a little knot, and then a bow, just really, really taut so that it's snug right next to it, and then a little bow. So let me show you a couple other versions of it. So we did that guy and we did this guy, and these are both done with Sending Cheer stamp set. But let's step it up a little bit. I showed you this guy with Merry and Bright. Now let's take a look at Stepped Up Traditional Santa. This is from that designer series paper. And then this is, but if you didn't have this paper, I mean, I do have some extras, so let me know, at least as of this recording. So I die cut the designer series paper, and then I die cut the espresso right behind it. And I kind of layered the fireplace look with espresso. And then the sentiment is joy, peace, and love. And those little stocking dies came with it. So, but there's also a stamp that matches and can be colored. And I absolutely intend to stamp and color that guy. And then this is what the inside of this guy looks like. So It's nice cherry cobbler and mossy meadow. So that's really sweet. And same thing on the other side. I like kind of the symmetry of it all. So that's that one. And then is there any other? Okay, this is the swap. This is the swap that I'm doing. So first of all, let me tell you, this design, without the little dots, that's my little addition. This design came from the annual catalog. It's a for the Joyous Noel stamp set and bundle and suite. And then I added those 3 little red dots. But then here's this online exclusive ribbon, super fun. And then here's this guy. Just, it's got a repetition of holly and berry and all the colors. So there's a couple different flavors because I ran out of some cardstock. Oh, here's one. You know what? This is one was a little bit loose. So if it was too far down, that's what it would look like if it was too far down. So I think this is the one where the hole has some give in it and it's working out just fine. So yeah, you really need to be very precise. But that is the swap card. So you guys take a look below. You can get this PDF by subscribing to my email at lelameinke.com. You can get all the information for kits and how to subscribe and see my other 12 weeks and see the introduction to the 12-week. You can get all that information down below in the YouTube description. Please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment. It really, really touches my heart when you do that. Thank you. Bye-bye.